morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again doing what I do, walking along in beautiful locations such as this, and giving you my thoughts and opinions on everything that's happening in the world, in the public consciousness. If it's your first time here, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you join me for this walk, or all the walks that you choose to walk with me on. If you're a returning subscriber, or 1,275 of you I think there are today, welcome back. Thank you one and all for joining me. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing today. So I've entitled this video, Burn the Witch. Now, there's a reason for that. I'm not talking about witches in general. I mean, maybe they are, but that's not the subject of the conversation today. But the subject of the conversation is more about the Salem witch trials and how back in the day, many years ago, if history is correct, if history is real, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, when there was the witch trials where they were travelling around and finding the witches and burning them at the stake. And it all transpired because there was a frenzy of information and this frenzy of we have to rid the world of witches, and we had to burn them, and all you had to do was just accuse somebody of being a witch, and that was enough. Because, well, how do we know she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt. But I got better. So in relation to how we're seeing what is transpiring in the world right now is what this video is about. It is this whole idea of these things that sit outside of the norm of what we're told is the norm and what we have to accept as reality. Those things that accept the questions, the people who are outside of that system who refuse to accept what we're told as being, that's the truth and you can't question it. We are now the modern day witches. So welcome to being a witch. Even if you're not a witch, you're being accused of being one. Now, if you think in terms of what are the big buzzwords, the big buzz topics of the day that we are told that you cannot question. Okay? One of them is what's going to happen in America tomorrow on the 8th of November, on the blood moon. What colour is blood? Is it red? Blood moon. Okay, so blood moon is red, right? And the moon controls the tides, waves. So if it's a red moon controlling the waves, what's that going to do? For all those people that get the reference, bravo. It's a little bit convoluted, but you know how it is nowadays with topics of conversation we're just not allowed to discuss because the science is settled. Okay, so if we have a look at the group of subjects that we're not allowed to discuss, or that the science is settled on, or everyone knows, like climate change. Everyone knows there's climate change, Chris. You're just too stupid to understand the argument or the discussions, and you're not allowed to be involved because you don't have a PhD degree that says you can. So that's the way that the world works on everything now. It's like Monty Python. I have to sort of sidetrack for a minute, like I usually do. If you ever watched a Monty Python film, and the Monty Python films took the piss better than most. Things like The Life of Brian. Well, why are you always saying that for men and women? Well, I want to be one. You want to be what? I want to be a woman. I want you to call me Loretta. This is back in the late 70s, early 80s when they were doing this material. And look at what's happened. Well, I want you to call me Loretta. To tell you the People's Front, it's the People's Front of Judea. This idea of what they could see coming with this political correctness, and it's not just in one part of our day and our lives. What we're living through, this reality. It's permeating every single aspect of our lives. Now, look at the subjects we're not allowed to discuss. Well, let's get back to the thing for a moment. Monty Python was doing these movies, you know, they were poking fun at everything and everyone, of course, you know, because that's what they did. That was comedy. That's what comedy was about, when you could actually laugh at yourself and laugh at each other. And that's what comedy is, being able to laugh at the ridiculousness and absurdity of our everyday life and the social norms that we all engage in. That was comedy. Comedy's not allowed anymore because nobody's allowed to be offended anymore. One of those other buzzwords is offence. I'm offended. But all the subjects, Monty Python, the creators of Monty Python have said, you can't do comedy anymore. John Cleese is famous for saying, I wouldn't do comedy now if my life depended on it. You can't be funny now, because funny means sometimes poking fun at yourself or poking fun at other people. Where did we lose that? Why did we lose that? How did that get lost in this whole translation of being woke and being a good person? You know, it means you have to be miserable to be a good person. You can't laugh, because comedy sometimes means that you're laughing at yourself or you're laughing at others. So if even comedians are saying, I wouldn't do comedy now, what is that saying to us? Now, look at the subjects in our society that we're not allowed to discuss, and if you dare question it, what the response is to that. Okay? So maybe this video will last, maybe it won't, due to the censorship on this platform especially, and you know what's happening at Twitter. We all know what's happening over at Twitter, which we'll get to in a moment. You know, and the other joint, what's that place called? Meta. What is meta? Metadata. Anyone know what metadata is? Bulk collection of data. Metadata. And then you have programs that troll through metadata to pull out significant information that people need to find. And we didn't even know that our metadata is being harvested by Facebook constantly, 24/7, 7 days a week, every minute of every hour of every day. Your phone is harvesting metadata on you and everyone in the vicinity of where you are through your phone, even if you don't have Facebook. But it's a privately owned company. It's got nothing to do with any kind of government agency. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. Nothing. But you know, Russia's bad. Right. Speaking of Russia's bad, that's one subject you know it's not allowed to discuss, is it? Because if you say anything that's even remotely suggests that what's happening in Ukraine is not what we're being told, you're a Putin apologist, or you're on Putin's side. Yeah? It is right down the centre. You either agree with us, or you're a witch. You're the enemy. You're Putin apologist, or whatever it is. Like, if you dare to suggest that maybe we shouldn't be sending billions, tens of billions of dollars over to a different country to sustain a war, maybe we should send some people who have an ounce of brains in their head to go and negotiate and find out what this is all about and find a way that we can peacefully resolve this. Isn't that what politicians are supposed to be there for? To serve the people? How does it serve the people of this country for our government to send tens of billions of our tax dollars to a different country to buy more weapons for war when we're not even declared to be in a war? I'm wondering what our politicians are there for. I'm wondering if you're wondering that too. But are we allowed to question that? In our modern day, if you dare to question the people that are there for your safety and security, remember, the ones that are trying to get us into a war, the ones who have been our masters and lording over us, while the collapse of our financial system and our collapse of our monetary system and our collapse of our business sector through, you know, raising of interest rates and the raising of fuel costs. Why are fuel costs so high again? Oh, it's because of Russia. No, it's not. It's because of Ukraine, because of what Russia did in Ukraine. How much of the oil that we use in this country comes from Russia or Ukraine? Zero. Oh, I can't do that. It's a white power sign, isn't it? Sorry. Used to be the OK sign till the people at 4chan decided to take the piss. Now it's white power. Oh, no, it's not. It's a 666, isn't it? That's right. And if you hold it up to your left eye, that means you're Illuminati. obviously, but symbolism is very important. And, you know, there's lots of things. I mean, you know, I'm not deeply studying the esoteric knowledge. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are, you know, much more knowledgeable than I am. But symbolism is how messages are portrayed. Okay? Numerology. Another way you can use numerology is a gematria, if you've heard of gematria. Gematria is where you have a number value associated or attributed to a word. So, let's say, for instance, that A is 1 and B is 2 and Q is 17, for instance. You know? So that you have these nominal values. These values are associated with letters to numbers. And gematria, so you have maybe a sentence that says, the cat in the hat. Let's just say, I'm just making up as I go along, like this entire talk really, but that's, just so you know, I don't have any kind of script coming out here. I come out here, I press the button on this thing, I have an idea of the subject material, and then, it spews forth from my mouth. I mean, is that me that's guiding that, or am I being guided on the journey to produce what I'm producing to share with the world? Seed something into the public consciousness. I don't know. That's the kind of reason I come out here. I'm talking. It's almost like automatic writing, automatic drawing, where you disassociate yourself with your hand and it just does its thing. Who's drawing? I don't know. Who's speaking through me? Who knows? You have to decide. The message that comes from me is not up to me how you receive it. How you receive it is up to you. So, like I say, I'm off all over the place today because I don't run with a script. Now, the way that the media, governments respond to people questioning the narrative makes the narrative look more ridiculous than it needs to, because it is propped up with garbage. It's lies, it's propaganda, it's all bullshit. All of it. Everything. It's all designed to have you living in fear. Even the people in the questioning community, in the conspiracy theories community, everybody, the normies, you name it, everybody is scared of something. Everyone can feel it. Everyone can feel there's a change in the air. Something's coming. Something's happening in this world. And everyone's trying to work out what it is. So the normies are just thinking, oh my God, the prices of my shopping are getting high and the price of my fuel and nuclear bombs going off, of course, because that's what the news is focusing on. Climate change, you know. Science is settled on that one. But it's everyone's concerned about something, and this whole psychological operation that's going on right now is designed to have you not knowing which way to turn, to feel alone, feel abandoned, feel helpless. Like, oh my God, I'm the only one feeling this way. I'm out in the world, I'm all alone, I'm cut off. There's no one here to support me. I'm all alone by myself. I'm the only one that's in trouble here. People are thinking like that. It's just me. And it's probably because of the silly mistakes that I made in my life that's led me to the point where now everything's in turmoil. That's not the case. You're not alone. It's not because of you. This is all designed to have you questioning your reality, to have you living in fear, to have you beg to these monsters who are running the world, go to them begging, please help me, sir. They're creating the problem. Now, the argument that I put forward all the time to people is I say to them, you believe in climate change? What's your response? How do you think, what do you think we should do to fix the problem? Well, we have to tax the billionaires, or the companies, or the oil companies, or whatever it is. I'm like, okay, So now we get a bunch of money. We're taxing the shit out of us too as well, because, you know, we're the big polluters, remember. We all breathe out carbon dioxide and we're all exhaling out of our back end. You know, same as cow farts, we fart as well. And so do all those animals, the wild buffalo and zebra and all the animals that live in Africa, they're all farting too. Like, not just the cow farts, we've got to worry about every animal in the world farting, including you. The methane that's coming out of you is directly attributable to everything that's wrong in the world. That's the science, I'm afraid. I'm just... But look at how the response is. If you come out against, if you say, you know, the media comes out with something preposterous, like a man in his underwear gets past a bunch of camera security, a bunch of Secret Service agents that protect the house, and manages to break a window out to get in at 2 o'clock in the morning into a very prominent person's house, and the police are called not for a break-in but for a wellness check on a friend. When the police go to that residence, they're told, no, everything's okay, off you go. And then the geezer gets hit in the face with a hammer that they weren't fighting over when the police got there. But we're told, no, it's all above board. This guy just really tried to break in. And it wasn't some gay lover's tiff gone wrong, because how could he possibly be gay with a wife that's so hot? But you can't question it. You cannot question it. It's like back in the Salem witch trials where you know, these women or these people, sometimes men would be accused, mostly women, of course, because we have to wipe out the divine feminine. And when you're talking about patriarchy, you know, controlling the world, and these men would go out, yes, of course, there's been periods in our time where these crazy people, these psychopaths existed, and still psychopaths exist, and they are our rulers. Anybody that wants to be a ruler of other people, they're probably on the bottom of the list of people that should be rulers of other people, you know. Just saying. But the way that these subjects are approached is you cannot question it. Logic and reason doesn't matter anymore. Here's a logical discussion to put forward. Here's a logical discussion. How much fuel do we get from Russia and Ukraine? In this country here in the UK. How much do you get in your country? Yeah, if you're living in Germany, probably quite a lot. Well, actually none anymore, because no, the pipeline got blown up by Liz Truss. Well, that's what we're told. And apparently there's evidence to prove that. Well, she didn't do it herself, I don't think. I don't think she's got the brain cells to pull that off. But we're told that there's evidence that exists that's going to be presented to the UN, but not that the UN does anything anyway, because the UN is corrupt. Is this right to say it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, United Nations, United World. Remember, we've been through this. Anything that says world or international, you know they're corrupt. Anyway, off subject. But when you try to approach these subjects from a logic and reason, and let's have a discussion about this kind of talk, like when I spoke about, you know, one of the richest women in the world, Oprah Winfrey, a black woman, interviewing another black woman, apparently, doesn't look too black to me, Meghan Markle, who's a millionaire in her own right, who married into the royal family of the UK, okay? And they're talking about institutional racism. Keeping black people down. A billionaire, black billionaire woman, a multi-millionaire, another black woman who's just married into royalty, telling us that all institutional racism has kept black people down. Anyway, like I say, logic and reason. Fugazi, fugazi. It ain't real. It's not real. It's not in the elemental chart. It's a fiction. But these subjects that you're not allowed to discuss, climate change is the first one. I mean, you're not allowed to, the science is settled, even though there's record ice in Antarctica and record ice in Arctic region. Weren't we told that all the ice caps were going to melt and all of our shores were going to flood? And I'm pretty sure I heard that for like 10 years now, 15 years. Or when was that stupid movie that Al Gore made? What was it called? An Inconvenient Truth? Go back and have a look at that, see if any of it was true. But if you dare to question it, heresy! You're a witch! We have to burn you at the stake. Look at what's happened to Kanye, or Ye, or whatever he's calling himself nowadays. Now, it's easy for us to sit here out on the sidelines with our little lives, going to work every day, paying the bills, you know, sometimes meeting up with your friends if you can, if they'll talk to you. And by the way, I had a wonderful visitor come and visit me, one of you beautiful people that watches this channel, that puts up with the crazy that comes out of my mouth. I had one of you wonderful subscribers come and visit me here. It was an amazing time to meet you. I'm not going to say your name, but thank you for coming to see me. It was amazing. But you know, if you can't visit your friends anymore because they won't talk to you, or because you're not allowed to travel because you haven't had the that you can't question either. Even though the science is like, does nothing. 100% safe and effective though. Science was wrong. All of it. Oh, that's right. What am I saying? The science wasn't wrong. There was no science. It was all bullshit. It was all a lie. All a mathematical simulation. But you can't say that, because there's certain things you're just not allowed to say. Why is that? Why is it that you can't question? Now, I recognize that in the world that we live in, words don't mean the same as what they used to, because we're changing the definition of words. Like recession. Recession always meant 2 quarters, which is 6 months, of downward growth, or no growth, or reverse negative growth in the economy. Okay, so it was always 2 quarters, or 6 months of the year, 2 quarters, half. Quick maths. Yeah, see, I didn't even finish high school. It's impressive, right? Maths. 6 skills. Anyway, getting off subject. It was all mathematical manipulation. It was all using statistics to lie, which is, funnily enough, a book that Mr. Bill Gates had on his bookshelf when he was doing an interview. How to Lie Using Statistics. Funny that he had that book on his bookshelf. Same guy who says there's too many people in the world. Same guy who says we need to black out the sun. Same guy who says we need to stick things in little kids' bodies. That guy. Same guy whose father was one of the original founding members of Planned Parenthood. That guy. That guy. Yeah. Why is it that we're not allowed to question things? The original, like I say, words, the meaning of words has changed. I get that. Recession doesn't want to mean what recession always meant. I understand that. Numbers can be manipulated quite easily, especially the stock market. How that's possible? How is that possible? Why is it, if you have a look at the charts of every crypto in the top 10, when Bitcoin goes up and it goes down, or it does this, have a look at the charts of all the other altcoins, they call them. Altcoins. Altcoins, okay. Where did Bitcoin come from? Woo! Ethereum, where did that come from? Who is the major backers of Ethereum? JP Morgan? Woo! Who runs the world? Not girls, it's banks. The way that Kanye, I'm going backwards here, it's all over the place. Like I told you, this doesn't make any sense. I'm crazy. Remember that. That's why this is like this. It's because I'm crazy. And if you listen to the media, if you listen to the other people out there, they will tell you I'm crazy. Because I dare to question anything. We should just sit back and just be told what to think. Because it's easier, right? Who wants to go out and do all that work and go and actually read some medical research? I mean, who does that? Oh, only the experts do that. Only people with degrees do that. So we should just trust them. But look what's happening to Ye or Kanye or whatever he's calling himself now. I have to check there. Don't want to be too long. Your time is precious. It's the most valuable thing that you have. But I had to bring you out here to the forest. It's wonderful. Look what's happening to Ye. Okay, he dared to mention what he saw, and he says there's a certain religion, peoples, just to make sure that we got that mix right there, that control a mafia in Hollywood. Okay, and he said they control everything. And just to prove the point, they cancelled his contracts for everything. All the clothing lines, all the shoe lines, boom, all of his sponsorship is gone. Because why? He wore a shirt that said White Lives Matter, and he dared to say something about a race or a people that control a mafia in Hollywood that's now been proven by their actions after he spoke. But Kanye's crazy as well. Even though he released the message that came from his personal trainer that said, I will have you sectioned and have you medicated so like you're a zombie for the rest of your life, to play dates with the kids won't be the same. Does that sound like something a personal trainer would say? Or a handler? Maybe to get to the top echelons of the business that you want to go into, especially entertainment, maybe banking, you have to have a controller, a handler. Who is controlling the handlers? Who's controlling the puppet strings? Who's controlling all those puppets that you see on TV? All the people that tell you the truth, all the people that tell you not to question, all the people that tell you we have the answers. If you want to do your own research, well, that's racist. Controlling and changing the language, like I say, the words don't mean the same things as they used to. Why are they changing the meaning of words? So you're constantly confused, so there's always something to trip over. Oh, have you seen the movie The Giver? Watch it. Changing the meaning of words to have it so you have no idea what anything means anymore. Go to the Black's Law Dictionary and have a look at some of the definitions of meanings of words in there. I think you might be surprised. Now, I dare you to use facts and logic and reason on the things you're being told. The things you're not allowed to question. The things that the science is settled on. I dare you to question it for yourself because, as I say, I'm crazy. And anyone that questions anything is crazy. But wouldn't you like to be crazy? Just a little bit? And maybe see things for how they are in a logical viewpoint? You can still bring your feelings into it if you want to, if it makes you feel better. Look at things logically and ask questions and share things and have conversations with people where you ask them questions and you question each other. Have you seen the fuel prices? Why are they so high? Who controls the price of the oil? OPEC? Understand all the things that are influencing our world and why they're influencing our world, because it is problem, reaction, solution. You're expected to go down a particular path. This is the path we want you to go down, and we'll just cause all the problems that we need to have you beg us for the solution that we will then provide to you. And it's not a solution, it's entrapment, it's enslavement. The longer we listen to these criminals, the worse things will get. So I beg you to go and do your own research. I beg you to question everything. I beg you to use science. Because what is science? Even though they want to change the use of that word, or the name of the understanding of that word, science is questioning your reality. And asking questions of it and constantly questioning it. Even though we've got a theory that works, that says, we know that this, and this works that way. maybe there's a better way to look at things. Maybe it should always be questioned. Maybe that's what science really is. Questioning our reality, and never stop questioning the answers, because as soon as you stop questioning, someone is controlling you through that knowing. That's my task. All I'm doing is out there questioning and asking those questions of you. I now leave it up to you. This is inception. I plant the seed. What you do with it, whether it's going to grow, whether you're going to water it, whether you're going to take care of it, it's not up to me anymore. It's up to you. And it's up to us all to do something to change this world for the betterment of all of us. And questioning that is how you start. So, don't burn me at the stake. But thank you for joining me, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you joining me for these walks in beautiful nature. And I hope that you take something from it. If you do, great. If you don't, so go out to the world, do good, be good. And we can change the world with the way that we talk, the way that we interact with each other, the way we think, and the way that we speak. So go out there and change it, make the world better. All right, love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Take care. Ciao for now.